Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with broadcaster Ade Oladipo in Glasgow. It's a little bit weird still to see you, I guess, on Queensberry shows, considering the move over from DAZN, but we're in for a good fight between Taylor and Esmer as the main event.
Yeah, and to go back to your first point, it is still a bit strange. You almost feel like I'm cheating on Matchroom for some weird reason. But we've had a good run of boxing events, right, recently. It almost feels like there's a big boxing event every single week at the moment, or at least there has been for the last 6 or 7 weeks. But this is a good one. I think this is a really, really good main event. We all wanted to see what Josh would look like with 7 pounds of muscle, and you can see it. And you're like, why didn't you go there earlier? You know, after the Ramirez fight, maybe, when he was undisputed champion, go up as the king of 140 and challenge some of the big boys at 147. But better late than never. He is here, and obviously it's his team that picked Echo. And I don't know, man, it's a tough pick. Like, you could forgive Josh for saying, okay, give me someone that maybe is completely faded but still a big name. But he's decided to go for someone that's been desperate for an opportunity, desperate for a big payday, and he gets it on Saturday.
What are you looking for in the early rounds to say that? And Josh has always been adamant, look, I've still got it. I've just been operating at high levels, and those losses have been at high levels, but I'm not a faded fighter. I'm not a fighter who's at the end of their story. I'm ready to kick on. I want world title shots. What are you looking for in the early rounds to say that Josh Taylor is still there?
2 things. I think the first thing is how sharp is he? When anyone jumps up in weight, I'm like, okay, do they still carry their speed? Because that's what Josh has always been about. His foot speed has been fantastic. His jab's been great. Does he still have that foot speed? Now he's carrying an extra bit of bulk. So I think that's the first thing. And can he dent Echo? Because Echo, as we know, is nicknamed the Engine for a reason. He will be in front of you forever. You've got to dent him to keep him off. And not many people have dented him. And even those that have dented him, we saw in his last fight, he seems to find a way to recoup and recover. So I think Josh is going to have to be on his toes, but he's going to have to get the respect from Echo early with punch power. And if he doesn't do that, it's going to be a long 10 rounds. And I think that's quite smart as well, to make it a 10-rounder as opposed to a 12-rounder. So, I just want to see how sharp he is with that extra bit of bulk.
Both these fighters, more specifically for Josh, because he's been at the higher levels in Echo with respect to Echo Esmeralda, but both these fighters want a slice of Conor Benn afterwards. Is that a fight you'd want to entertain, Josh Taylor or Echo Esmeralda against Conor Benn?
Echo won't get it. I'm trying to speak honestly here. I think you know that as well. I think anyone watching this will know Echo's just not... The risk reward for Conor to fight Echo is like, what do I get out of fighting Echo? For Josh is the name. Josh is the name. He's fought some big names in the past. So you can understand why Josh would want to take that route. I can see Josh maybe fighting one of the Americans because he's known over there as well. Obviously, Teofimo rematch. Teofimo's up there now. I feel like Eddie's somehow not struggling to get the right name for Boots, but it seems as though Boots is just floating in no man's land right now. I know there's a lot of talk about Boots versus Teofimo, which seems to have died down. So that could be a good opponent for Boots, Josh Taylor. So I almost feel like Conor Benn won't happen for both, but I think both will go in good directions, but maybe not towards Conor Benn.
Are we looking at Moses Itauma as being the heir apparent and living up to all the predictions and the pre-hype hype of him getting up to the top of the ladder? And if so, what are you looking for him against Mike Balogun?
I'm trying to rein in my excitement about Moses. We've all done it where we've all sort of pointed at someone and said, you're the future. You're the heir apparent to Fury and AJ. And there's fighters out there like Dubois, like, 1 second. I'm sort of a champion myself. I don't know if he will show me anything against Mike to say, okay, you're that guy. I think he's already that guy. But if he blows out Mike, it's more a case if he struggles against Mike, then we rein it back. If he blows him out in a couple of rounds, Gassiev did. And no one's saying Gassiev's the future. So I don't think I'll get much. It's the next one. Whether that next one's Hrgovic, Bakoli, that one would tell us. But I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. He's putting on size. I almost want him to stop now, because I've always looked at him as just being faster than any other heavyweight. And that's when he came through, like in the 230s. I know there's been a lot of size talk because of Dave Allen, but now I think he weighed in at 254. I think his last fight was 249. I don't know if that's something they're doing on purpose, but I don't think you need to be the biggest guy anymore. The best heavyweight right now is Alexander Usyk, and he's 222 pounds. Skills pay the bills, you know what I mean? Hey, Lee. So I love Moses. I really do. But it's the next fight that's going to tell me a lot about Moses. And I hope it's Bakoli or Hrgovic.
Yeah, let me get this right. I believe you're on TalkSport, and you were just kind of, I guess, fantasy matchmaking with the current heavyweights for Moses, and you said that of the fighters out there right now that possibly give Itauma problems, it would be Bacoli, maybe even beat him. Is that where you stand right now, that Bacoli would, a fully fit and firing Bacoli would beat Itauma because of the experience that Bacoli brings to the ring right now?
It's the experience, and it's a case of having yet seen. You know, I really want to see, which isn't great, but I want to see if Moses can take a crack. Okay. Now I hear everyone in sparring tells me he can, but obviously smaller gloves in the ring thing, smaller gloves in the real thing. Can he take a crack from a 280-pound Bacoli? If he takes that shot and just walks through it, then oh my God, then okay, let's crown him. But I need to see it. Because I know those big boys can hit, and that's one thing we haven't seen. It's not Moses' fault. We haven't seen Moses take a shot. If Moses can take a shot on the chin, on the whiskers fully, then yeah, we are looking at something very, very special. And that's why I'm a bit careful about sort of saying he beats all of these. I think I did that thing as you're mentioning to Gareth. And I said Dubois, he said yes. I said Parker, he said yes. But Cody said he stops him in 5 rounds. I'm like, whoa. All those guys I've mentioned have all fought at the very highest level and beat some very good kids. So let's just see him in against someone very, very good before we do this. Because we do this in this country, and when they lose, we then shit on them. Like, I told you they're a bum. Let's just be a bit careful. So I feel like I won't answer who he can beat until I see him beat someone.
Speaking of huge shots taken in the heavyweight division, we saw a big one taken from Johnny Fisher ending the fight, the rematch with Dave Allen. Johnny is now on the rebuild and Dave Allen looks upwards. What did you think of that ending, and did it go the way you expected? No, I'm not going to be one of those people that lie and play Monday morning quarterback. I expected it to be a lot similar to the first fight. I knew exactly how long Dave Allen got for the first fight. I knew exactly how long he got for the second fight, and the fight camp for the second one was a lot longer. So he was a lot more prepared. Probably didn't look it physically, but preparation-wise, was a lot more prepared. I almost felt like going into the first fight, Dave Allen was questioning whether he still got it. Because there's a lot of talk about it's a mismatch and Johnny's far above him and maybe Dave Allen should retire. So you almost felt like Dave Allen was like, okay, am I still what I think I am? And the second fight, he walked into that one thinking, I am what I am. And that finish, dude, being ringside, I think he could have stopped him in the second round. I almost felt like he was just holding back a little bit, just kind of having a look. And when he got an opening, that finish is probably the best finish I've seen live for years. That body head and then a little uppercut on the way down as well was so clean. And you're like, 1 second, Dave, so you can do this? Because we don't see it enough. And I just wonder now if the motivation is the fact he's got a couple of kids. So it's not just him fighting for him, it's now him fighting for his kids' future. And that surely gives you an extra spring in his step. So hopefully now, Dave Allen, what is he, 33? Hopefully there's a couple more big fights out there for him. Maybe a British title fight against David Adelaide. If he were to win that, and then you never know, right? You roll the dice and chuck him in with someone big. Picking that back up there, technical difficulties, and you swapped the cameras over, but batteries over even. But you were saying that imagine if Dave Allen and Adelaide got into the ring. Yeah, I said imagine if, and this is almost like crystal ball going into the future, because I actually think Adelaide could beat Dave Allen. But imagine if Dave Allen were to beat an Adelaide and they chuck him in with someone like a Fabio Wardley. Like if I'm Dave Allen, I'm writing down my dream sort of fights in the next 12 to 18 months. And I've got Wardley on it, I've got Adelaide on it, and then who knows, right? I mean, why not dream big? But when I put that to him, it was like, Ade, to be honest, I don't know how good Johnny is. So I don't know how good I am because I don't know how good Johnny is, which I thought was a fair point. But I think he's got a really good training setup with JB Moore and Nigel Travis. And again, the motivation is the kids now. And to make some money. I mean, this is the greatest time to be a heavyweight boxer. Not just because of Riyadh season, which obviously, is paying a lot of money, but with that little competition between Frank and Eddie, and obviously now he's signed to Eddie, if I'm him, I'm like, Eddie, pay me the money. I think Eddie's going to, so good luck to him. Good luck and good luck to Johnny as well. Johnny's such a nice guy. And the stick he's got for this defeat's crazy. Like, he didn't have to take the rematch. I mean, he could have almost said, I got away with that one. Let's kind of swerve that and go elsewhere. But he's like, we'll do it. He sold out the copper box. It was a great atmosphere and he got chinned. I mean, once these big boys that are 260, 270 pounds put on those small gloves and hit you, good luck. I don't care who you are. Good luck. Anyone can get chinned. I think we've seen that in the last 12 to 18 months. So he just needs to go away, rebuild. How many rebuilds have we seen? I mean, I'm not comparing him to the next man I'm going to mention, but look at what Daniel Dubois did after the Joe Joyce defeat. Who would have told you 3 years later Daniel Dubois would be world champion? And you're like, you're crazy. Who would have told you that Dubois had a chance against Usyk? And he has. So again, I'm not comparing him to
Dubois, but heavyweights can rebuild better than any other weight class because all it takes is one big one on the whiskers, and that's it.
This might be the greatest time to be a heavyweight, but is it the best time for Manny Pacquiao to return to the ring and fight a world champion in Mario Barrios? I think he's in his mid-40s now, but Pacquiao, if he does come out with a victory, it'd be one of the greatest wins to ever been seen in a boxing ring, but a lot of concern as to his health going into that fight.
Yeah, look, it's funny because you're right, he could chin Barrios. Like, that could happen, right? I mean, he could land one on the left, so with that sharp left, and you just never know. But he shouldn't be in a position to be able to chin him. But that fight just simply shouldn't happen. He's not won a fight for 4 years. Sorry, he's not had a fight for 4 years. He hasn't won a fight for 6 years. He had the exhibition fight last year against an aging kickboxer, I think it was, and he looked bad in that. He looked so bad in that, people were saying, okay, no more exhibition fights. Not no more fights, no more exhibition fights. And here we are. And I like the WBC. I know people give them a lot of stick, but I know exactly what they do for former fighters behind the scenes. I speak to Mauricio Suleiman quite a lot, but they've got this one completely wrong. It's so bad. And then all of a sudden I wake up one day and he's number 5 in the welterweight rankings with the WBC. And I'm like, how have they read the room so bad? And this is where it gives almost energy to what Dana White when he says boxing's broken. For things like this. This is a 46-year-old that has had like one of the hardest careers. I watched nearly all of Manny Pacquiao fights. It's not like he was walking through opponents and making it easy. His fights were tough. He's had some brutal fights, and here we are now, 46. I don't know how he's passed the medicals. The Nevada State Athletic Commission are one of the strictest when it comes to enforcing things. How they've licensed him. Well, I know how, because everyone's getting a bit of money. They're getting the Manny Pacquiao money. I almost feel like a bit of a hypocrite because I'm going to watch it. Yeah. But again, it's not my fault. They shouldn't be putting it on. Like Manny Pacquiao at 46, I don't think should be having exhibition fights, let alone world title fights against young, hungry, live dogs like Mario Barrios, who's going to want that scalp. You know what's crazy? And this is going to sound crazy. I can almost see Manny Pacquiao somehow landing something from the gods. And guess who do you think Manny Pacquiao is going to fight next if he does?
Conor Ben.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
I can honestly see them saying, fuck it, let's do Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao. I can honestly see something crazy like that happening. Because if Manny can get a license, why can't Floyd? I can honestly see something crazy happening. And that's boxing. Boxing right now, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And unfortunately, we've got to consume and take it all. Because you can't sort of pick and choose what you want. But you're going to watch it, I'm going to watch it. It's a great undercard, but it shouldn't be happening.
Certainly a bit of questionable matchmaking, but there has been some matchmaking going on between, I guess, yourself, Ariel, Darren Till, Carl Froch. Is that happening? Is that something that you'll be tuning into as well, Ade?
I love Ariel Helwani. Obviously, look, we have a show together every Tuesday. Make sure you tune in live on DAZN. Him and Carl just do not like each other. But Ariel's the type of person, I will say this about Ariel, he'll back down from nobody. Like, he's got this energy of, well, I don't really care. Like, I will say what I want to say. And Carl said some stuff about him. Like, Ariel shouldn't talk about boxing because he knows nothing about boxing. There's this thing, by the way, of, like, what level of boxing do you need to know to talk about boxing? Is there an exam you need to take? Because some people say that about me, and I'm not 1 second. I've been watching the sport since I was 12. Am I okay to talk about the sport? So Ariel knows boxing. Yes, he knows MMA more than boxing, but he knows boxing. But yeah, him and Carl don't like each other. But it looks like, Ariel's playing promoter, matchmaker with Carl versus Darren Till. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, a little knockout, little exhibition knockout between those two. Darren, we know he's level. Carl certainly wants the Jake Paul fight. He wants that fight. I don't care what he says. So maybe you have a Darren Till knock, you look half decent, you get the Jake Paul fight. Who knows? But Ariel, stop, please, because every time you're in America and I'm here, I get your shit for what you're saying. So please stop.
Ade, we'll leave that there. Thanks so much for speaking to Seconds Out. Looking forward to the fight this week and other interviews in the future.
Cheers.